Hey guys, Wolvie here, and this is the Gabranth rework analysis video for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global. Now, a few things here and there before I get into this particular video. First and foremost, there is maintenance coming in a few hours, so I'm trying to make sure I get this filmed beforehand, so that way I could somehow catch up. So that's one thing. Another to take note of is that Gabranth does have his LD out. I mean, I will show the entire kit because I do have his LD. I do want to mention here that the rework he has is considered to be quite minor. So when I get to the opinion on that, it's going to be that putting that into consideration of what I have to say. So I'll have the time period trip in the Cydia database information in the description below. With that bit out of the way, the usual disclaimer, any opinion in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. So I will meet you all at the banner where the LD weapon is. So I will be back. Okay. Okay, I'm back, and this is the information for Redemption. That is the name of Gabranth's LD weapon. The ability itself is called Innocence, and what Innocence does is the information you see here. Now he gets this buff called Princess Keeper that he gets to himself for 6 turns, which is really good. And then you see here the 2 usual debuffs he has. Excuse me. Now you have here Criminal's Mark and Outlaw's Brand. Now, to take note here when it comes to this particular one, Outlaw's Brand and Criminal's Mark, is that it really depends on the number of debuffs an enemy has. If the number of enemies debuffs is less than 4, that means the debuff is called Criminal's Mark. If it's more than 4, it is considered to be Outlaw's Brand. So that sort of thing. Now, what Innocence and this is pretty much Innocence right here. This is AoE split, and this is Innocent Plus. So whenever a target has Outlaw's Brand, which is the more than 4 debuffs, Innocence Plus does what you see right over there. Then we're going to go into the 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, and 3 out of 3. So 1 out of 3 is pretty much like 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3 is very much, a slight raise in the attack stat. Sandy the Tabby, he says hi to everybody. I don't know how he managed to get into the video, but I'm not complaining. I love that cat. Anyway, so when it comes to 1 out of 3 for Innocence is in Innocence Plus, it's a slight increase in brave damage he deals. 2 out of 3, the duration of Princess Keeper goes up to 12 turns from 6. And 3 out of 3 is 1 more use of Innocence. Now, this is the LD extension board to the character enhancement board. So, just pause the video, take a screenshot. And now we're going to jump right into the information that's going to be the eye should be popping up. And we're going to jump into, see, they have it. Yeah, it looks like this is it right here. Now, again, this is a minor rework for Gabranth, and this only evolves around skill 1. So you see here for skill 1, post rework, he gets the information you see in red. So here's what I think about Gabranth. Granted, it is a minor rework, and it's like for me, it's more or less, and it is what it is. Now, some people were not really too thrilled about this, after time has passed. I mean, there are people whose reworks are probably a lot better in the sense of their first rework. But you know what? I mean, I think they may be planning something for Gabranth later on that might be considered a major rework. So it's one of those things that's like, yeah, it is a rework. It's minor. And it's only on skill 1. Now, what I particularly like about this is that it helps with some aspects of the longevity, which is a real treat. It's more skill uses that any little bit helps with longevity, especially with characters who have like a low amount of skill 1 and or skill 2. And they have to be super reliant on their EX and or LD weapons. And there are characters coming along with their LDs where it's like they're going to be beyond reliance on the EX and LD, which is, it's in a way, it's sad in its own right. But the thing here with Gabranth, it's a minor rework. It's just one of those skills. I do feel he's going to get something a bit more major for a rework in the future. It's just a matter of when that's coming along and what does it affect. So, all in all, and to get to the point, there's nothing I can really say about this rework outside of what I've been hearing, seeing, and reading about. So unfortunately, I don't have any real opinion on this particular rework because it's just skill 1, nothing else. And it's just like, I mean, it's like, because it's that minor, I'm like, is there really any point? So, if there were to be a second rework for Gabranth, I mean, we got all this stuff right here, as you can see. I mean, I'm interested to see what they'll do for, like, skill 2 and or the LD, Maybe more uses on the LD or some format of, like, a free skill usage after EX or LD. I mean, it's just really too, like, a little too tricky for me to really, like, figure out how I feel they should go. Because it's like, the fact that it's like he's got more uses for skill 1 as the rework, and then the other information in red, granting party break based on HP damage dealt. I mean, it's pretty damn good. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, you have a rework so minor, it's just like, there's nothing for me to really say. Now, with the secondary rework, it's like, it's kind of hard for me to determine, but I would like to see, like a free skill usage after popping off the EX or LD or recovery. Excuse me. Or recovering a skill use after the fact. Because, it's not a bad idea for like either way, but just like, I do really need to, see what the whole deal is. So with that, let me double check my time. Okay, so it looks like I'm actually done with this video. But before I sign off, like I said, and to say super quick recap, Gabranth, the rework he got here on Global, it's super minor. And it's not really, my place to say, it's bad or it's good because it's that minor. I mean, if you think about Setzer, is that when he got his 70/70 Awakening, believe it or not, he had a very minor rework in the form of the Crystal Strength level 50 passive, which is like all in. So it's that minor. There's nothing I can really say in the sense of like, do I like this rework for Gabranth or not? It's because it's super minor and it's one of those types of reworks that's like, there's nothing you can really say about it in the sense of like it's good or it's bad. And the thing I do want to point out that here is that for us global players, it's like, some of us actually have the foresight from JP, but we all have to take it into consideration that not every character who gets an LD gets a rework. Sometimes the rework comes at a much later date. Sometimes the rework at the much later update is minor. So it's one of those things that's just like, you gotta take what you're given. There are other examples of where characters who get the LD and either don't get a rework at all right away. And one of them is a bit of a controversy. It's Sarah, and there's another character who gets the LD but without the rework. And that's that on that. But all in all, besides all of that, is that sometimes certain reworks are just super minor. Honestly, it's not really worth for me to say, is it good? Does it suck? And for me, I would rather wait to see a second or a third rework to really get a much better opinion. Because having that foresight from JP, it doesn't necessarily mean for me it's just okay, this person got this really crappy rework or whatever, that sort of thing. But you know what? I'm not the one making these decisions for the game, and that's that. With Wolfie here, signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.